Hello, welcome to Madrid. This is the Spanish Football Podcast YouTube channel. I'm Phil Kitromilides. This is Sid Lowe.
Hello.
Hello. We're here to look ahead to this weekend's La Liga fixtures. There are some really big games at the top and bottom of the table. The biggest of the lot is Barcelona against Atletico at the Camp Nou on Saturday evening. It is a La Liga title decider, more or less. There's no Friday game and there's no Monday game, so things begin on Saturday lunchtime with Girona against Espanyol at the Estadio Montilivi, where Girona haven't won since October. They're getting sucked in gently to the relegation race, the relegation battle, Girona, so they need to win. Espanyol are more or less comfortable in mid-table. It is a local derby as well.
Yeah, I suppose it is. There's 99 kilometres between Barcelona and Girona. I must confess, I don't know how many kilometres there are between Cornellà and Girona. Real
Madrid against Eibar. Obviously, Real Madrid losing for the first time under Zinedine Zidane, part 2. 2-1 they lost against Valencia at Matchday in midweek. They didn't look particularly brilliant. They'll be looking for a big result, a big bounce back, and trying to big this up. There isn't too much for Real Madrid to play for this season apart
Real Madrid
from pride.
Have got 6 months of games that don't matter.
But as you said before, every game matters
at
Real Madrid.
Yeah. By the way, Eibar, brilliant again. Did you know that Eibar are the team that has spent more time in the opposition's half than any other team in La Liga this season?
Really?
Yes, good stat that, isn't it?
That's a fantastic stat. Real Madrid still haven't conceded a goal from outside the penalty area as well.
That's a good stat too.
This season.
I didn't know that.
Let's see if that changes with the visit of Eibar on Saturday afternoon. Straight after that, and about 10 kilometres down the road in Vallecano, a huge game for Rayo. They lost again at the in midweek, going down by 2-1 at Eibar. Once again, they took the lead. It's the 5th time in the last 8 matches where they've taken the lead in a game and failed to win. They lost 2-1. They've lost 7 of the last 8 games. They are in all sorts of trouble. They're just 6 points from safety, so it's not completely hopeless for them, but they desperately need to win. As we said, Valencia had that big win in midweek. They're without Dani Parejo though. He's suspended for this game.
And he's so important for them in terms of the control. I suppose they'll probably play Condobia with Soler in the middle of midfield. I guess they're playing really well. 17 games unbeaten in all competitions now, Valencia.
Let's see if they extend that.
They're favourites, aren't they, for that final Champions League place, I would say now, even though they're not in it yet.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Then afterwards, it's the big game of the weekend. We're going to spend a little bit of time on this. It's Barcelona against Atletico. Barcelona coming into the game off the back of that unbelievable 4-4 draw with Villarreal, which extended their unbeaten run to 18 matches in La Liga. They're 8 points clear of Atletico. They dropped a couple of points in midweek because Atleti beat Girona by 2-0. Is there league? Well, I said there's league if Atletico win.
Yeah, there is league if Atletico win, because it would go down to 5 points. There would be, what, 7 games left, so it's certainly not impossible. I think from Barcelona's point of view as well, there's kind of an important part of this is that sense of saying, let's make sure there isn't league, because then we can prioritise, then we can rotate, then we can make sure we're fit and fresh for the Champions League games. Now, obviously, that's still no guarantee, because it's, you know, other teams play as well. It's not just about what kind of condition you're in. But I think there probably is a league title race if Atletico were to win this, which Simeone hasn't done against Barcelona in La Liga.
I was trying to find the statistic. I think they haven't won at the Camp Nou, certainly in the league, since 2006.
Yeah, although they did win the league at the Camp Nou.
But that was a 1-1 draw.
With a 1-1 draw.
A draw's no good for them on Saturday.
No, a draw is no good for them on Saturday, and they're not really a team that very often takes the game to
That's the thing.
Although I guess in a way, the way that Barcelona plays, they will feel that even if they don't take the game to Barcelona, that there will be times when the game opens up because of the nature of the way Barcelona play. Although that, of course, is what we thought at the Wanda, when both teams play very cautiously. They both agreed to kind of, right, this is a draw, and then we worry about the league after this. Let's kind of put this off. A bit like Britain with Brexit. Let's just put it off. Let's just, you know, let's ask for an extension, and we can deal with this later, because that problem's definitely going away if we just put it to one side.
Atletico, I was looking at their recent games in La Liga. I think it's 7 wins and 4 defeats in their last 11 games. All those 7 wins, though, have come with clean sheets.
Yes.
They do remain the best defensive outfit in the division. So if they can keep a clean sheet at the Camp Nou, they'll have a chance.
Well, and obviously they don't know yet whether Morata's going to make it. They hope he will, but I think even if Morata doesn't make it, they will still largely try and play quickly on the break. They will try and release Costa, use Griezmann to do that. I imagine that we'll see a midfield, depending on whether if Morata's fit, he might even risk playing 3 up front.
Yeah.
And then I think we would see 3 central midfielders, and they will be central midfielders. He won't put anyone creative in, or outstandingly creative in there. I think we'd see Thomas Rodri and Saul again. No, Koke. Thomas Rodri and Koke. And we might see that Saul doesn't play if that's the case. A lot will depend on Morata. If Morata then isn't fit, then I think we do see Saul and we see Costa and Griezmann up front. It sort of feels like the kind of game where you can sort of imagine a 1-0 Barcelona win with a Messi free kick, or a 1-0 Atletico win with a breakaway goal or a goal from a corner or something.
Messi, of course, who wasn't in the starting 11 for the game against Villarreal, nor was Piqué, nor was Rakitic. All three will come back into the starting 11.
Well, that's it in a way. I mean, part of the reason they didn't play at Villarreal was so that they could play for this, because, of course, if the focus had been purely the Champions League, maybe it would have been the other way around. You play with your full team in Villarreal, you rotate against Atletico Madrid, and then you go and play with Manchester United with those players having had 7 days rest. That wasn't the case because, of course, this game is so important.
Early game on Sunday is in Vitoria. It's Alaves against Leganés. Then in Madrid, you've got Getafe against Athletic. Athletic with an outside chance of certainly pushing for a Europa League place, or even trying to battle for that 4th place, which is currently occupied by Getafe. To do so, they will have to win at the Coliseum. You're going to this game?
I'm going to this one, yeah. And I think, actually, if you look at the fixtures, I think Getafe, they've just recently played Valencia. They've got Athletic in this game. I think the week after, or maybe the week after that, they've got Sevilla. So it's not just that Getafe are in possession of that place, but they have the opportunity, or perhaps the obligation, against the teams that could well take it from them. I think it's not impossible that Athletic get that final Champions League place. More likely is that they'll compete for 5th or 6th.
Valladolid against Sevilla is after that. Then you've got some other games with Celta Vigo taking on Real Sociedad. You watched Celta on Wednesday evening. You watched them nearly win and then nearly lose in Huesca. Yeah,
and as the manager said, Francisco Lowe said, you know, it's enjoyable for you lot, but it's horrible suffering for us. And that's what it's going to be for Celta between now and the end of the season. He's got to try and kind of clear their minds. He's got to try and get them physically fit as well. Iago Aspas was taken off in this game. The last thing Aspas does against Huesca is provide an assist, like, right, your work's done, off you come. He'd already got what's known in Spain as a sobrecargo, I suppose, muscle strain. There's been too much tension put on the muscle. They were going to take him off sooner, but they couldn't because of the nature of the game, just as they were going to take him off sooner in the previous game, but couldn't because of the nature of the game. There is a slight risk, isn't there, that Aspas is so important that Celta kind of work him into the ground, but somehow you feel like that kind of scrawny little Superman is going to come through it.
Scrawny Superman.
He's amazing.
After that, you've got Levante against Huesca. Sid sporting his newly purchased Huesca coat.
It was so cold in Huesca that I had to buy a coat, genuinely.
You become a Huesca sympathiser, not a fan, but you...
I really quite enjoyed my time in Huesca, yeah.
Yes.
And I feel really sorry for them because they have played far, far better than their results suggest. This season. They are almost certainly going down. The manager Francisco admitted that pretty much after the midweek game, that, you know, there was a chance right at the end that Gallego missed from a couple of yards out, and he said, you know, that was the moment when maybe we could have the opportunity to reach at the thing we're trying to get to, but it wasn't to be. And that wasn't to be, I think, is the definition of Huesca's season, because actually they've been quite good. I'm afraid they're going down unless something absolutely miraculous happens starting this season.
The final game of the weekend is Betis against Villarreal. Villarreal, who have scored a lot of goals recently but have not picked up the points that they need. Obviously that fantastic 4-4 draw with Barcelona, which in theory was a good result, although in practice conceding 2 goals in injury time leaves a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. They need to start picking up points as well.
Yeah, they do. They need to defend better. Or, I mean, in a way that game defined them. You know, this is a team that scored 4 goals and it wasn't enough. You know, and it was quite nicely put by, I think it was Sergio Central, who said, you know, we've knifed ourselves, we've stabbed ourselves. You know, and the manager saying that football's giving us a bit of a kicking here, giving us a pal or a beating, I suppose, more than a kicking. And that's true. And they do play quite nice football in parts of the pitch, but they're defensively so weak. I'd be curious to see how they approach a team like Betis, because in theory at least, Betis let you play. But then they're also quite good at picking off spaces if you leave them spaces. Betis' problem tends to be actually breaking down very, very defensive teams. And Villarreal, on the face of it, despite playing 5 at the back, don't do that.
Betis have averaged... only Barcelona have averaged more possession per game than Betis, but I think at the time of the recording, Betis only the 11th top scorers.
Yeah.
So they've had a lot of possession, but they haven't been able to score.
Exactly.
So that's it. Enjoy Matchday 31. We are back on Monday for the Spanish Football Podcast. It is out wherever you get your podcasts, on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, Acast, like I said, wherever
on your phone.
Well, yeah, obviously on your phone. Most people listen to podcasts on their phone. Also, for bonus podcasts, listen to us on patreon.com/TSFP.